those Irish people, they're kind of crazy. It's like a ghost story song, really. You know, when you think about it, like when Dennis, you know, we always run through what we're going to do, and I looked at the lyrics, and I didn't really get it till I heard you singing, that it's really this, that truth that what we put out is what comes back to us, you know? What we put out is what comes back to us. And how meaningful that is, especially when you, let's just say you're in the second half of your life, you know, when you're looking back and you think about what comes to you has a lot to do with the seeds you've sown. So anyway, that was beautiful and moving. And it may have other deeper meanings, you know, for all of you. I can tell that it touches Dennis when he sings it. So this is awesome because I have got the same kind of talk, you know, a little bit, not Irish, but a little bit, you know, a little bit crazy. The first thing I want to show a comic strip. Can you guys read that? Let's see. There's Hobbes, and he says, "Why are you digging a hole?" "I'm looking for buried treasure," says Calvin. "What have you found?" "A few dirty rocks, a weird root, and some disgusting grubs." "On your first try? There's treasure everywhere." And really, there's treasure everywhere. And I love that. That might be my favorite Calvin and Hobbes. But here's what I really like about it this week. I like that the treasure is some disgusting grubs and a weird root. Because really, sometimes that is the treasure. Digging and finding that kind of stuff is the treasure. I didn't even have a bad week. You know, it's not like there was grubs all over. But for some reason, when I came to talk about, when I came to put together my talk, I had this feeling like I was in the desert. And I was, you know, most of the time I have a lot of ideas about what to talk about, and I really feel like Spirit helps me, and I usually don't sweat it, and something always occurs to me. There has been an occasion when it's been Saturday night at midnight, but this was not that occasion. But I was feeling that deserty feeling, that dry kind of feeling. And there was no reason to. It's not like, it wasn't really about circumstances, but I know that everybody has that feeling sometimes. And I especially noticed the contrast because I had picked "There's treasure everywhere" as my talk. I had picked the excitement of there's treasure everywhere, you know, like when you're a kid and everything's wonderful. That's what I picked for the talk, but I wasn't feeling it. Instead, I was like, there's just some rocks and grubs. But I knew what to do about that. I knew that the only thing to do was to go with it and see where it led. Because one thing I have learned is I cannot fake anything. And if I was not feeling like there was awesome gold happiness in every moment, there was no way I was going to get up here and tell you that's the way the world is. And then I remembered a song that I talked about in my first year in ministerial school. The song is called "The Outlaw's Dream" by Jack Williams. I am not going to sing the song because it is a You are in such trouble, missus. Just for that, I might actually sing the song. The reason I'm not going to sing the song, and the reason I don't even have a video, is because it's a cowboy song, and it is so long. The first line goes like this. I ride alone. And it just goes on. But I want to read you the words because the words are absolutely amazing. So just picture yourself in the desert, feeling a little arid. And it's really a beautiful poem, and there's like a happy part to it. So you got to ride through the desert sometimes. I ride alone through endless hours, searching all my fading powers, never resting, never seen. No need to hide, I'm lost inside an outlaw's dream. I raise my hand against the sun. I drain the fire from my gun. Through shifting sands and barren stream. No place to stand, no fellow man, in an outlaw's dream. No eagle's cry, no desert rose, no canyon wren, no prairie wind, no drifting snows, no cooling rain, no scorpion sting, no grace of God, no shepherd's rod in an outlaw's dream. I search in vain for sacred places, recalling love in gravestone faces. The vandal moon betrays the scene. All hope is gone, there'll be no dawn in an outlaw's dream. No grace of God, no shepherd's rod in an outlaw's dream. And when I found this song and was really feeling it was when I was going to school. I was going to school in Missouri, and Roland was in Florida. And we'd made that agreement that I was going to go to school, and he totally supported me. I mean, literally earning money to pay for tuition and everything else along the way. Yes, go for your dream and all that. But I really missed him. And there were times when I was so miserable, I just almost felt like I couldn't go on. And yet, I was also living my dream. I mean, I really was. I loved school. I loved learning about all that stuff. But I was in that desert sometime. And I remember that one of my professors, when I was writing this talk, he said, here's one thing you can do for your people when you go out and you get in a church. You can tell them that you know what it feels like to be in the desert. You can stand with them and remind them about what that's like and that it passes. Yesterday, I felt a little bit in the desert. It was nothing like how bad I felt then, and it was nothing like how bad all of us have felt when things, drain our soul, the circumstances that happen that are tough. We all know we have those pieces. But here's what I love about this song. It sparked in me that I have this tiny line from the Bible, and it's in my soul. Whoops, let's see. First I want to show you a picture of the desert. Yeah. That's how you feel. And this is the whole psalm. I want to go to the last part of the psalm. Whoops, I better go to the first part of the psalm first. Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. And I realized that this Bible quote is in me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. And I think that's why I love the song so much, No grace of God, no shepherd's rod, and an outlaw's dream. And I recognize, because I've been doing this spiritual work for a long time now, that nobody's making me an outlaw except me. I'm the only one who puts myself in the desert. I'm the only one who thinks there is no shepherd's rod, no staff to help me. And that is, of course, true for all of us. You're just like me. We're all the same. So the psalm, written almost 2,500 years ago, or maybe more, the writer of this psalm knew this beautiful and comforting truth. You are with me, Spirit is with me. Now we say Spirit is in me, or I am Spirit. The message is hold on to the rod and the staff. Hold on to the truth, the rod, the truth, the spiritual truth you know, and the staff, your spiritual community, the people that you practice with. And hold on to your practice. Now, here is an interesting thing I noticed when I was feeling miserable yesterday. Part of the reason I didn't feel quite as miserable as I did when I was missing Roland was because he was there. But the other reason is because I have really developed a totally happening practice of meditation every week or every day. So I actually meditate every single day. And it is the practice that gets me through the desert. It's the, what do you call those things? It's the fountain. When you're walking in the desert and you're looking for water, and it's not a mirage. It's not a mirage. It's the oasis. Thank you. That word left my brain for a minute. It's the oasis in us. And it's really, really important to have the oasis. Now here, this talk, and I mean to bring anybody down and touch on that, won't promise you we're going to end on an entirely different note. But this talk will serve you if you're in a totally awesome, fabulous mood. Trust me, it will. Because when you're in a totally awesome, when you're in the Calvin and Hobbes mood, when you're in the, oh, there's treasure everywhere. I get to ride my bike today. It's Sunday. That tree outside is really pretty and it smells good. I get to have breakfast or ice cream or whatever, or it's my birthday. That's good. And when it's that way for you, you want to store it up, you know? It's the treasure that's everywhere. You want to store it up. It's the kind of treasure that doesn't get eaten away by moths or rust. And if you're having the kind of day, like if maybe you came in here a little deserty. I mean, I am not having that kind of day today, but I was definitely having that kind of day yesterday, where I felt tired and I felt depleted and I could not find my oasis. Then this talk works for that too, because you can know that you have the truth and the people you practice with, your spiritual community. Maybe your spiritual community is all of us. Maybe your spiritual community is an online community. Maybe it's the daily word, whatever it is. It's the people who hold the truth with you and hold you in the truth. Like we did for Reverend Mary Alice today, she specifically wanted us to think of her here with us. And whether she's here or not, she's here with us. That whoever those people are, we create that. You have that with us. It's very important and critical. And it is also important for us to be that for each other. Let's see, I think I want to go to the next picture. So this is the picture, and it's funny really that I could be in Des Moines yesterday when everything's green and lush, and that's a picture of somewhere in Des Moines, and feel like I was in the desert. it's kind of funny, isn't it? Because really, when I look outside, the reality is that. The reality is the green, lush, beautifulness, the myriad leaves on the tree. It's just a reminder that who makes us outlaws? It's the good news and the bad news, people. If you are an outlaw, you made yourself an outlaw. If I'm wandering in the desert, it's because I hopped on a horse and I went into the desert. The thing to do is not to be unkind and say, "Get out of the desert, you son of a gun," or whatever other cowboy thing you might say. No, the thing to do is to be super kind and loving and gentle with your precious soul, your precious self. Super kind, like more kind than you can even stand. Sickeningly kind and loving. And, oh, you feel like you're in the desert. Somewhere there's an oasis. Somewhere there's an oasis. And it's close. And if I forget where the oasis is, I know how to remind myself. I know how to remind myself. There's many different ways I can find the truth. Perhaps it's scripture. Perhaps it's some other holy book. Perhaps it's a song. That actual song, it's the song Dennis sang. Perhaps it's listening to babies. That always works for me. Perhaps it's looking at pictures of the new princess. Perhaps it's going online and searching for something that interests you, or even, this is what I've been doing lately, good news. You put in good news, and you see what pops up, and you find inspiration. You can also put in inspiration and see what pops up. Or you can find something to act as an anchor. The practice part of it is this. While you're in the desert and you love yourself, you actually take some time to notice where you're at. You know, I say this every week, kind of. I really do. To notice where you're at and be where you're at in the moment and love yourself and breathe and pray and connect to the spirit that's in you in the moment. Whether you're on a horse in the desert or you're swimming in a pool or you're riding on a raft down a river, which is really, really fun. Whatever it is, you got to be there. You got to be there. And then if you can't like just jump from the horse in the desert into the river if you don't pay any attention. You actually have to be on the horse in the desert, and or maybe you have to dig around in the dirt for some grubs and rocks and notice the treasure and deal with it, whatever it is for you, whatever the connection is for you. You got to feel it. You got to feel the happiness, the sadness, the loneliness, the excitement, and then you realize that it's all okay, that there really is treasure everywhere, okay? So when we totally live it without stopping, wherever we are, when you totally live it, then you get it. There really is treasure everywhere, and even the desert is treasure, and even the seeming sorrow or the seeming loss or the seeming annoyance. I'm not even going to say computer, but if something's there to frustrate you, even that, if you actually live it, then you transform it. So we're going to end up on a transforming note here. the spiritual law is you can't be apart from God. That's what we say when we say our statement of faith. There's only one presence in my life. You can't be apart from God. And we're going to end the talking part of this service on joining together and celebrating. I've had a request, and it is sort of my own special birthday month, but we're gonna sing happy birthday. Now, there's a lot of people who have birthdays all summer long and all year long, as a matter of fact. And last Sunday, it was Elsie's birthday, and she couldn't come to church because her sister was ill. And I think it almost killed her, right? Almost killed you, yeah. Oh! So she requested that we have some birthday singing. I happen to know that it's actually Deb's birthday today. And for all of us that have birthdays, June, July, all the way through the next year, we're singing happy birthday. But we're going to say Elsie because she's going to be the name we're going to use, and she's going to stand in for everybody. Okay? Okay. Let's take an offering for unity. Invite you to take your tithe and your love offering and hold on to it while we say our affirmation. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies